Hey, welcome back. It has been a few days since I recorded the last how-to video. I showed you earlier how to do the half stitches to make straight lines and how to do whole stitches to fill in areas of space with a solid pixel. And today I want to show the finishing touch. You can do this at any stage in your project, but I often like to save it for the end because of how transformative it is. It's kind of exciting, and it also makes sense to layer on top of any other stitches that you're doing that are whole or half stitches. This is the back stitch, and you'll notice I've used it to go around this heart. Actually, all of the hearts along this diagonal line that are solid colors, that gold outlining is all done with backstitching. So backstitching isn't really a traditional cross stitch, but it is often used in embroidery. It's really easy, really fun, adds a lot of glam pretty quickly to your piece. So I wanted to incorporate this into this heart today. So I've gone ahead and started with the first stitch using the knotless loop start, and I'm going to show you how I fill in the rest of the outline. So I will bring my needle back here. I'm going to find the next point. So I'm really thinking about each, hearts are really rounded. There aren't many actually straight lines, but I've gone ahead and made some straight lines to keep closely to the shape. So my first one comes out right here. I'm going to cross those 3 stitches. I'm going to, one way to do this is to back up to where I just was. This is why this is called back stitching, because you're really going ahead and then moving backwards. I like to straighten out my thread to make it look nice and flat. You can kind of decide how much to do that based on the aesthetic that you're looking for. So then my needle comes back through that same hole again. And now I'm going to go forwards. Most of the points go into the spots in the Ada where there are already holes, but you'll notice this is woven fabric. If we look really close up, we can see that it's actually made out of 1, 2, 3, 4 strands in each row, or each column, and 4 in each row also. So I'm going to go right into the center. So I've got the 4 dots right here, right into the middle. I actually pay attention to go through between each of those sets so that it's right in the center. Pull my thread through. There's a little bit of resistance, especially with this metallic because it's pretty thick. Coming forward through the next point in my heart, and then backing up to where I was. So it's got this nice alternating motion between moving forward to the next stitch and then backing up with the previous stitch. So here's going to be a forward stitch. You don't really have to think about it too much once you get the hang of it. It becomes pretty self-explanatory. Like here I am, I just went through that spot. I can't come out through the same spot again to do the next segment. So I have to go ahead and back up for this stitch. And I can continue that all the way around. Paying close attention to my pattern to make sure that I'm putting the needle where I want to. Now here, remember before, right in the middle up here, I went right into the center of a stitch. Here I am going to go, you can see this column right here. To get the angle that I want on the heart and have it be congruous with the rest of the pattern, I decided to make it go halfway between these 2 holes. So still along that same column as the previous stitch. And then down here, this is a long ways to go along the back, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going halfway between the two legs of that bottom stitch. Making sure to adjust my thread as I go so that I don't end up accidentally doing 4 ply instead of 2. So I'll just go right back up through that same exact hole. I think it's satisfying to see how fast this part goes. You'll notice when you look at the back that each strand that you see on the back has been gone over twice, just because of the way that we're continuously looping between those same holes. Right up, it's symmetrical, so right here I'm going in between. If you are intimidated by going in between, you can feel free to adapt it. Feel free to adapt any of my patterns however you want. Change up the colors, change up the designs. You could do backstitch on all the hearts if you wanted to. You could do it on none of them. You could do your backstitch in metallic like I have. You could do it in another color of the pattern. Just feel free to make whatever adjustments you want to make it exactly to your taste. And then on the back, I will show you how to finish off with a piece of floss. So I've got this extra floss or thread. What I'm gonna do is take this, here's the hole that it came out of. I'm looking for a nice line that I can just push my needle under. I only really need a few. I can do more than just a few stitches if I want it to feel more secure, but because this thread is so thick, this is definitely plenty, and it's a little bit tricky to get my needle through because of how thick the metallic is. So I can just pull it through and then snip it off. And there I have it, the completed heart sampler pattern.